Hello, everyone. It's William here. How is everyone tonight? I hope you're having a great night. Um, the days, the days here are just getting busier and busier and busier and busier. As our time to Italy approaches, we're trying to get so much done. But it's all good things. Let me say hi to everybody. Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. Kimberly is here. Hello, Kimberly. Um, Says I don't see Susan. No, no Susan yet. None yet. None of the Susans yet. Um, so it's been a big day. I feel like I'm tilted. Um, I think I am. My stand is a little bit tilted today. It feels like me. She's psychic. I just got here. Hello, Susan. I was wondering if you were going to make it today. I did get your email. I haven't had a chance to reply. Sorry for the the wobbliness here. I'm trying to see if something's going on, but yeah, I'm just going to lean today a little bit. I think it leans a little bit every day. um, but yeah, so today has been a very busy day. Um, And I don't know how all of you are doing out there, but it's been a good day, just a busy day. Um, my mom and dad came over to look at our car, the van, because it was making a wild noise. And as soon as my dad heard it, he said, "That sounds like power steering stuff." So we picked up power steering fluid and put it in, and it seems to have stopped the noise. Um, and I hope it's going to keep stopping the noise, but it is possible. My dad said that the power steering motor is going, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're going to hope for the best and hope that the noise stops for good, and this helps it. If the motor's going, then we're probably going to have to take it to a garage, because my dad, he can do a lot, but he's like, I can't even see where the motor is on this one. And he's like, it's probably going to be where you got to take a lot of stuff out to get to it. So we'll probably end up taking that to a garage if we need to, but let's just hope that it's all done now. Because we don't need any extra happening before before we go on our trip. Um, we're already trying to save as much as we can for the trip. We don't need to be investing money into car repairs right before we leave, because that'll severely cut into like food budgets and extra, hopefully picking up little knickknacks at markets to bring back or to post and sell live. So we'll see what happens. Um, yeah, that's what it is. Um, let's see here. Susan says, "Hi, everyone. Missed you all week." I know, Susan, we've missed you. This week has flown by. Um, tomorrow, I'm normally at the store, but we have a show tomorrow evening at Bottle Works, and I think I'm going to skip the store tomorrow. I haven't talked with Andrew about this yet, so if he's watching, this is the first he's hearing of it. I think I'm going to skip the store tomorrow to prepare for the show. There are some things he was talking about, doing some dye sublimation and stuff, um, some extra pins and things like that, and buttons and stuff. And so we might spend the morning and afternoon doing that. We are probably not going to have a live tomorrow, because I'm going to be getting ready for the show. Um, and I don't know if I think Andrew's going to the show with me. But we'll see how he's feeling too. But we are going to be getting ready for the show tomorrow. So I think I'm going to close the store tomorrow. We should be open on Saturday and Sunday as normal. I think Andrew's class in Pittsburgh is canceled on Saturday, because we only had, I think, one sign up, I think he said. And so they were going to try and get more, but he was kind of like, no, after all that we're doing on Friday night, because I think it's 6 p.m. till midnight show, and then by the time we tear down and pack up and drive home, and say goodbye to everybody, we probably won't be home until 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and then trying to get up to be um, in Pittsburgh by like 9 is not giving us much time to sleep. Um, so that happened, and it's probably the best thing that could happen, but it's a little sad as class didn't fill, but also we get it, and it probably actually is working out for the best for now. So if you were planning to come to the store tomorrow, most likely I'm going to be closed. I was thinking about going up for a little bit, but I don't think there's really any point. I think I'm just going to close for the day, work on things for the show. Um, and I may have to run up there earlier before the show to make sure I grab anything I want to grab from the store. But other than that, yeah, I think I'm just going to be here tomorrow. Well, at the cottage. At the cottage all day. Norma's here. Hello, Norma. Thanks for joining us. Anna's here as well. Anna says, hello, good peoples. William, you got a haircut. Looks nice. Thank you. Fingers crossed for your vehicle. Thank you. Yeah, I got my haircut. You must not have been joining. You must not have joined us for a little while. Um, this week has flown by, so I don't know when I got my haircut. Last week? I think it was last week. Um, and it's also very possible that if you joined us after the talk. Because if the camera was turned, you may not have seen that I got a haircut. Because I don't usually turn the camera around back in the end. Because I feel like I've seen you since then, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what is happening. I cannot believe tomorrow is Halloween, and that the show is already tomorrow. I've kind of lost track of that. We didn't really get to publicize it as much as we wanted to at all. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We got invited to do another show today in December. And so, which I didn't talk to Andrew about. I put it in the calendar, so you may have seen the calendar prompt, but we haven't really talked about it yet either. But it's a show in Moxham, and it's at the Russell House, which is a historic house there in Moxham, and they're doing some fun stuff. I don't think they've released any information about it really yet because they're still doing meetings on it, but they wanted to grab us and let us know, see if we wanted to partake in that. But I guess they are opening the third floor of the house. They have an open house, I guess, there every year, and 400 some people come through. So it should be a good opportunity. And I guess this year they fixed like the roof and redid some of the rooms that were water damaged, and they're reopening the third floor for the first time in like 50 or 70 years or something. I think he said. It's pretty wild. So they're going to have it up on the third floor. So I think we might do that. Whether I do it myself or Andrew does it, we'll see. But I think we'll try and get in on that. But yeah, that's also going to take some thought because that's more holiday stuff, and we're going to have to gear more toward holiday creatures instead of some of our Halloweenish creatures, maybe. So we'll see what we do for that. Anyway, that's going to be a fun event, I think. Anna says, I don't think I saw you in person. Yeah, I don't think so, right? Let's see here. Michelle says hubby is getting his surgery November 18th. That's good that that's still on. Hopefully all goes well. Susan has joined us. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining in. I was here one day this week. I thought I saw you, but like I said, it was probably after I flipped the camera. Or maybe you just didn't notice. I don't notice those kind of things all the time. I feel really bad about that most of the time. If somebody gets a haircut or colors their hair or, changes something about their appearance, I'm getting a little bit better at noticing it. But my anxiety, see, it's not that I don't notice it. I guess I shouldn't say that. It's really not that I don't notice it. It's that my anxiety, when I do notice something like that about somebody, my anxiety tells me, but what if that's how it was before and you're just late to notice it? So I never remark on it. And I'm never like, oh, that's a nice haircut you got. Because I'm always worried that, like, it's been like I've seen them like 3 times and they've had that haircut, and I've just never said anything before that. So my anxiety always tells me to be like, "Well, maybe don't say anything because maybe you've missed it before, and this is the first time you're actually noticing it." Um, so I do notice things sometimes, but oftentimes I don't say much because I'm always concerned that maybe I'm um, like I've seen it like they're like they'll be like, "You've seen it like 3 times since I." Like, "Oops, sorry. It looks nice anyway." I guess it's not so bad. It's not that embarrassing. Um, but um, it is one of those things. It makes me overthink. Hello, Suzanne. Thanks for joining us. I just heard a big crash outside, and I don't know what that was. I don't know what's happening outside my door. And it's Halloween is for all year. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is a thing for sure. For sure. Suzanne says Halloween is life, right? Anne is here. Hello, Anne. Thanks for joining us. Sue says, I lost a day this week. Yesterday was Thursday and today was Friday. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I thought so too. I was I I was getting ready. Was it I think it was when I came in, like my mom and dad came just a little after noon. And I came back in the house after that was all done, and I sat in the couch and I thought to myself, am I supposed to be at the store today? Like I freaked out a little bit because I was thinking it's Friday, and I'm like, what am I doing hanging around the house on Friday? Even though I know we needed to do the car, so that would have been fine, but it just, you know, psyched me out for a little bit. Um, and it says, I think it was Tuesday I showed up late. That's, yeah, you know, it happens. It's all right. It's okay. Suzanne says it's not Barnaby. I don't know. I don't know. Anna got flu and COVID shots today. Hope I don't feel poorly tomorrow. I don't know. I when I would get the COVID shot, I would sometimes get a little bit. Andrew would really get taken down by it though. So I hope you don't. But I don't know how you normally react to all that. Um, so we'll send you good energy, and I hope you don't. But I know it's you never know. You never know. Um, I'm hoping I don't. I'm looking. Do I have our friend got us chocolate cupcakes. I posted that on Facebook earlier. And some kitty treats for Halloween and some other things. And I gobbled, like scarfed one of those down right before the live so that I have some energy for the live because I haven't eaten much today. I had a little bit of leftovers from yesterday. Yesterday night, Andrew made because we were talking about not knowing what we're gonna make because he had me get some beans and um, we got. I was at my pottery class, and by the way, I did not get anything back from my pottery class, so I don't have anything new to show y'all. Um, my stuff didn't go into the kiln, or I think it did, but it didn't come out of the kiln yet. So um, the anyway, on the way home from my pottery class, Andrew had me pick up black beans, diced tomatoes, diced chilies, and cheese, I think. Something. There was something else in there. And I said, "What are we doing with these?" And he made we had refried beans in the cupboard, so he used that and all that stuff and mixed it together with rice, and we had a rice and beans dish, which was actually really good. I ate a lot of it last night, and I made too big of a plate for my second helping, so I put that in the fridge and I had that for lunch today. So I had a little bit of lunch, but that was all that I've eaten today. Hannah said, I planned it so I could have tomorrow off if needed, but now another coworker is off tomorrow, so I should be there. Oops. Well, how is that your fault though, right? That's the other coworker. You didn't expect it. But hopefully you'll be fine. We'll just say you'll be fine. Or maybe you want to be a little bit sick so you have an excuse to be off. I don't know. Which is worse, being a little bit sick from the shot or going to work? Which do we want to send you the energy for, Anna? I'm not so sure. sometimes being just a little bit sick um, is okay if it means you get off of work, right? Susan says we got our flu shots Monday. Have to find out who does COVID shots without requiring a prescription. Yeah, that's a thing right now, isn't it? So weird. Marianne just got home. Hello, Marianne. I was wondering where you were. I was just thinking Marianne's not chimed in yet. Anna says, Susan, is that new a prescription required? I think it is. A lot of people are finding that they have to have a prescription now. Anna says, I could always feel sick at work and go home, right? Yeah, just go and see if work is better than being sick or not. And if it's better than being sick, if it's not, like, I think I gotta go, everybody. I got the shots yesterday. Um, listen to me, trying to tell you how to get out of work. Yeah, it's funny. So how's everybody else doing? We did that today. I went up and did some packing and shipping today. Cleaned up around the house a little bit. We had some dishes to do and just stuff like trying to figure out what we need, compiling some things. I ordered some cat food so that we would have enough cat food stocked up for our friends and my mom who are watching the cats. So hopefully everybody's got enough food. It's going to be coming via Chewy. Should be here in time. Hopefully they'll have lots of food. No one will have to go get extras. Um, and I still have to pick up cat litter so that we'll have cat litter to add, change out, do all that good stuff while we're away. Normally, we never have to worry about anybody dealing with the cat litter because we have 3 giant cat litter boxes, and most of the time, um, we're not away long enough, both of us anyway, are not away long enough that they're gonna get anywhere near, um, filling up those cat boxes, so but this time it's gonna be a while, so I gotta make sure that's all ready, and, um, Gertie, she still likes to pee on the pee pads. I never see her doing it, so I can't actually say it's her. I see her, like, cleaning up from it, scratching them. I never actually see her peeing on them, but I'm assuming it's her because she used to do it. Ever since she was little, she pees on the pee pads in front of the litter boxes, and I think it's because Gilbert chases her sometimes, and he doesn't do it as often now, and she's getting bigger and they chase each other less. But when she was young, Gilbert used to chase her around, and I think she didn't want to get into because the cat litter boxes are like they're like sweater boxes that you store sweaters in and stuff. Um, so they're big cat litter boxes, and they jump in them and they do their business, and they're high walled so that nothing shoots out um, over the edges or anything because that was an issue when we had smaller litter boxes. The boys would just shoot out everywhere. Um, so I think she gets afraid of going in them. Um, and so we have to always have pee pads around. And so I got to stock up on those too. So I have to make probably a Walmart run. And even though, we don't like to do that uh, we don't like to do it if we don't have to, but that's where we can really stock up on that. So we'll get those, and it's just like all these things, trying to run through our brains the things, and that was a little bit of planning today, trying to figure out what all we're gonna need, um, and our friends and family are helping us to come up with ideas like, do you need this? Do you need that? What are you going to do with this? We've had some people online offering advice on how to pack and what to do, and it's always fun to read those too. Susan's listening to Halloween music in the background. Right now, it's Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead, then Joy Division's Dead Souls. And we saw Depeche Mode's new film, oh, new film, M. Highly recommended. Nice. That's a nice evening, nice day. Anna says, oh, Susan, great music. Oh, I didn't turn on my, sorry, everybody. Tall, big, There we go. I gotta get your comments on there so y'all can see each other. I forgot to turn that on today. Um, Susan says, I think COVID shots go state by state. My state is kind of not great in that department. Whoa, my comments just jumped. Sorry. Andrew says, I want to go to that Monster Garden. What's Monster Garden? What is that? Monster Garden? Did you send me something that I haven't seen yet? Hello, Andrew, by the way. Andrew's downstairs working on his project still. He's gotten to the fiddly bits of the project, and it's harder right now. Oh, in Italy. See, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know these things. But yeah, Andrew he's gotten to the fiddly bits, as he calls them, of his sculpture that he's doing. And um, it's taking him longer than he thought to do some things. So he's still working on that and making plans with that. Andrew says, the big stone mouth. Kimberly says, pack old clothes and throw out as you go to have room for goodies to bring home. That's what somebody, I don't think that was you. I think somebody else literally said that. Somebody else was saying pack all the, unless that was you. I just saw that comment in passing somewhere. And they said, pack your old underwear, pack your old stuff and throw them out. I don't know. Most of my clothes, I don't know that I have enough that I can just throw out anything. I have jeans that I do want to replace my jeans, but I don't know that I want to buy jeans in Italy to replace them because I don't think that's my budget. So I don't know. I don't know. That's about the only thing that I really have that I would pack to really throw out, I think. All our clothes are old. Yeah, they're all old, but I don't think they're all ready to be, like, I don't want to throw those out to buy new ones in Italy. But if we buy other souvenirs and stuff, then I'm going to get home and I'm going to have no clothes. So we don't really have tons and tons of clothes like some people do. Like I feel like I re-wear the same things most weeks on a rotation until they wear out. It's literally it's beating taints. Yeah, he's beating the undercarriages of the sculpture right now. Um, Andrew says, we gonna be naked. I know, right? Kimberly says that's what my mom used to do when she would travel overseas. Marion says, I spent a month in Europe with just a backpack. Yeah, like we have a washing machine in the apartment we're staying in, which seems to be rare because most of the Airbnbs we were looking at, many of them, unless you got into big money, many of them did not have washing machines. So we have a washing machine. We do not have a dryer. Um, but we do have a washing machine and there is a line to hang your clothes to dry them in the apartment. So we will be able to take fewer things and know that we can just wash the clothes. So that is actually pretty nice. So that can cut down. We don't have to pack for like wearing new outfits for like 2 weeks. That's a lot of clothes to pack. So we can kind of do our laundry and be okay. And we don't know what um, Andrew's going to be doing in his workshop. I don't know how dirty it's going to be. We don't know what he's going to get into. At least I haven't heard yet. I don't know if I know last time we really talked about it, he hadn't heard like what the actual thing is going to be that he's doing. So he might get very dirty. He might not get dirty. So it's good. I wanted to try and find an Airbnb that had a washing machine. Andrew says, we have tons of clothes, but most don't fit. That's true. We do have a lot of clothes that need to be donated. Because, for a long time I had aspirations of working out and getting back into those clothes. But I think even if I work out, I don't think I'm going to be as slim as I used to be. I think, I'd rather bulk up muscle wise and not worry about being as slim as I used to be. So Toning over being slim is the goal anymore, and I don't think I would ever fit into those again. Marian's has got her Murano glass vases shipped. I feel weird because I say growing up, we always said vase, and now just naturally I say vase or vases, and it sounds so out of place because it's out of place for me because it's not how I ever said it, and it feels like I'm being fake, but that's just like what comes out of my mouth now. Um, it's just like aunt. I always used to say aunt, and like my aunts, I say aunt in the name, but when I talk about aunts, I now say aunt, and I don't know why. It's such a weird thing. I think it's because I tend to like those kind of less pronounced letters. Like vase is harder to say than vase, right? Vase, it takes more work to say than vase. And ant takes more work than aunt. It's just it's laziness, really, I think is what it is. But it's weird because I'll say that to people who know me and they're like, who are you trying to be? And I'm like, no one else. It's just what I say now. Anyway, that just I thought about that because the vase is the vases shipped. Um, let's see here. Anna says, do they have used clothes shops in Italy? I'd buy them. Maybe. I don't know. That's an idea though, right? Those could be some nice clothes, right? Um, Andrew says, my mentor did say we should get raincoats and wind jackets. We might have one wind jacket. I don't know. But probably need to look into that then. Angela says it's going to be great. So happy for you guys. Thank you. I'm excited. Um, I don't know that I'm excited yet. I'm theoretically excited. Um, I will be excited. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know what I'm looking forward to, I guess is what it really is. But it should be an adventure, and I'm trying not to let my anxiety ruin the fact that it should be a fun adventure. And of course, trying not to let my mind spiral into like we have to have the money while we're away and we have to make sure we cover things while we're away. So that's always on my mind. That's why we're doing lives right up to the moment we leave, pretty much as we can, or shows, or that kind of stuff. Andrew says, any club kids want some early 2000 clothes? LOL. I know, right? Vintage. Yeah, vintage at this point. So says Andrew, if those clothes don't fit you, they certainly won't fit me. Yeah, my anybody need any like 27 waist by 34 length pants? Because that's about what mine were. 27, 28 waist by 34 length. Um, those are not easy sizes to find, I will tell you that. But those are like the pant size. And then all the shirts were smalls. Um, yeah. Sometimes mediums, but mostly smalls. Um, let's see here. Anna says, I do that too with aunt, right? You're just around people who put on airs like your old boss. No, it's not that even. No one I know says them. No one I know says that anymore. Um, but it is. I think it's laziness in pronunciation, truthfully. Um, and that's how most language works, is we all end up at some point defaulting to the most lazy way to say things. That's why we cut letters off the end of words. That's why letters disappear in words after a while, and sometimes the spellings even change over time. It really defaults to the laziest way, and mumbling more and not doing aunt and just doing aunt, where you don't have to, and vase instead of vase. It's the laziest way to do it. Um, uh, those Murano vases must be beautiful, says Susan. Um, The markets might have cheaper clothes, says Marianne. Maybe. Andrew says, my mentor said they do have thrift stores, but it's like leather and furs. We don't do that really. They said they got the furs that PETA would throw paint at you about. I bet they do there. They do a lot of leather in Italy though, so that makes sense. Marion says, I only have 2 little ones now, even though I bought 6. The rest were gifts. That's nice. Hello, Leslie. Thanks for joining us. Andrew says, I'm going to cut up the jeans, and when I'm in my quilting phase again, I'm going to make a quilt. All right. I guess my jeans aren't up for sale, anybody, so sorry. Anna says, LOL. My ex and I used to be able to share jeans that size, 27-34s. Yeah, it's such a weird size, right? But very, very small waisted and very lanky. But now it's been years and years and years because Andrew took those and hid them somewhere. But just a little bit after we moved into this house, I tried a pair of those jeans on, and I have no idea. Like, I knew I gained weight, right? You always know you gain weight, but I'm like, I went from like a 28 to a 33. At that time, I think I was a 31 waist, maybe, or a 32. So I'm like, that's not that many like sizes, but it's not like super. I could not even get one leg in most of the way to those pants. Like, my thigh did not fit. I was like, it wasn't even about trying to get the waist buttoned. It was like the leg literally wouldn't fit in the leg hole. And I'm like, how is that so different? Like, and that was when I knew there is no going back. Like, I was ready, those pants were ready to leave. So Andrew took them and he hid them somewhere so that he can shred them up at some point. Ant for ant, says Marianne. Oops, where are things, everyone? Where's everything? There we go. Diane says, purge clothes. It can be freeing. Will you ever get into that size? Probably not. I have been purging hubby's clothes and mine. Yeah, I'm okay, I think, with purging them. Like, I hold on to some of them because I did like them so much, like, but I just need to purge the stuff that I can. But some of it Andrew ends up taking and hiding away. And like you said, he's using the jeans. He's going to make a quilt with the jean material at some point. Anna says, do you wear leather as a vegetarian? That's a hard thing. I do still have some leather jackets that if I can fit into, some days I can, some days I can't. It depends on the day, literally. But I will wear them because I have them. Would I buy leather jackets again? I don't know. I have bought leather things. I think it's hard not to buy shoes that are leather because, you know, I mean, you can get them that, and honestly, most of the shoes that I bought since are not, they don't have any leather. But I don't really, that's a hard one for me because I don't really have an issue with buying leather, because I know generally the leather is the byproduct of the food industry. And they have to do something with it because I feel like you should use it. I don't feel like animals are not being killed for their leather to make, and then the food's like the byproduct. It's that they're being killed for the food, for the meat, and the leather is kind of the byproduct. So for me personally, I don't have so much of an issue. I don't buy a lot of it, and I don't, go out of my way to buy it. But if there is something I like that's in leather, um, I have bought less lately. I used to buy a lot of leather things, and I have bought less, but I will use it now because I know people are always pretty much going to eat meat. It's not going to change, and once the animal has been killed for that, it's a good thing to use all of the pieces, right? And so at least it's a way to use it, and use all of the animal, and it's, it's kind of like bone beads and horn and all that stuff. It's at least it's putting it to use, right? And I know that's somewhat terrible because I'm the reason I don't eat meat is because I feel for animals, but I'm realistic in that I know that um, people are not going to stop eating meat, and if we're going to kill the animal for the meat, we should use as much of it as we can. Hello, Diane. Thanks for joining us. Andrew has a quilting phase, says Marianne. Um, Andrew says, I hate that game. William was laughing so hard as I tried to squeeze into them. Well, I was trying to squeeze into mine. I literally could not get a leg in my clothes, like, could not get a leg. I barely got a leg into like the entire pant. I'm like, how was I that skinny? Yeah. Let's see here. Oops. Anna says, same problem with my clothes, right? Um, Susan says, were those jeans pants at the height of the skinny jeans phase? The ones that I had, they were actually boot cut. Um, so they fit me perfectly. They weren't skinny jeans, they were boot cut. It was just my thigh no longer fit in the boot cut jean. Um, so yeah, they weren't skinny jeans. Skinny jeans weren't even really a thing yet. So yeah, that's my life. Kimberly says I've gone from a plus size 1820 to a ladies 810. I'm scared to purge my bigger clothes, but I don't have room for stuff that fits. Slapping my head. Um, that's great. Get rid of that stuff. I can understand not wanting to, because of the fear, but if I was going the other way, I would get rid of it. um, I don't know. It's taken me a very long time to get used to myself in this sized body because for the most of my life, I was very skinny, too skinny. Like I could not put on weight. I couldn't put on muscle really well. I couldn't put on weight. I was very skinny and very tall. And so, it took me a while to get used to that because I was always the tall, skinny kid. And that comes with name calling and all that fun stuff as a kid. And then I got used to that and was okay with that and got nice clothes and started wearing nice things, and finally when I moved to New York City could find clothes in my size, because when I was here before, there do not carry clothes that size. Specialty stores or higher end designer stores carried those sizes, or you had a tailor that made them fit. And um and so that it's hard for me to say goodbye to those clothes because I finally felt comfortable in myself and I had a nice wardrobe. um and I feel like since then I've never had the same kind of thing. But I'm also, and it's taken me a while to get used to this body now. It's a hard thing. I have a hard time with that kind of change. It's very hard on my brain. And as I'm guessing mine were early 90s. Mine, those particular ones were early 2000s. Now, my early 90s, that's when I had Jenkos and the big, big, big leg jeans, but they were still like size 28, 27 waists. Um, and and then some of them were like size 69 pant leg. I think that was the biggest I had was 69 or 72-inch pant legs. So like twice, pretty much like twice my waist size, well, more than twice my waist size. Um, were the openings of the pant legs. And that was in the late 90s. Um, Late 90s, early 90s, I wore suits and stuff because that's when I was mostly covering up for myself, for my vitiligo and all that. Sue says, I don't wear office clothes anymore, but I've kept some for of them for some reason. Some like some of that's good for special occasion stuff. Like we don't have a lot of clothes. We're so, I'm so casual most of the time that if we have a dress up occasion, it's like, okay, what dress clothes still fit us? So I think it's good to keep some of that when it does fit you. It's hard when it doesn't fit you and it's still hanging in the closet and you go to try it on. And you're like, ooh, I don't have as many dress clothes as I thought I have. Let's see what I can put together for this event tonight. Um, Susan says it's getting easier to buy, or it's gotten easier to buy non-leather handbags that hold up. Yes, non-leather handbags, non-leather shoes. It used to be you bought non-leather shoes, they came apart on you like nearly instantly, right? And so it has gotten easier, thankfully. And I have cut back on my leather purchases because of that. Um, but I do still have some leather things, and I had some scarves from New York that had fur, um, and I do still have them, and I would still wear them. I don't think it's right to throw that stuff out. If you're going to have it, then use it until you can't use it anymore. Is the way I feel about that. Um, and you don't really want to perpetuate buying more if you don't need to, but like I said, leather is always going to be um I think a byproduct of the food industry. um Now fur, that's a different thing. I don't try to do fur very much because fur is generally, that's not a product of the food industry usually, although some of those things are eaten, but that's mainly its own trade, the fur trade. And that's, I don't care for that, even though I have had some before. Um, Norma says, Kimberly, it felt so good to me to get rid of my plus size clothes when I lost weight. It also discourages gaining back if there's nothing to wear, right? Um, and this is good for you, Norma. That's great. Um, Andrew says, I used to make art quilts in college. And Andrew says, we had skinny jeans because we were squeezing into them. Yeah, we did, right? Till we couldn't anymore. Annis is laughing with you, thinking about the skinny me before versus now, right? I know. I can't even imagine. Like I look at pictures of myself and I see that I'm skinnier, right? But to know, to know that like I put two legs and my waist in those jeans when I could barely get a leg in my jeans, that's different. That's different. That's really putting it there. Um Marion says, if you keep any fat, limit to your favorite outfit, right? Andrew says, body dysmorphia is a real thing, particularly in the gay community. Yes, it is. And I've always had a bit of that. Um, like, I remember being very young. I was sitting in shorts. I probably have said this before, but I was sitting in shorts, sitting with my mom. And my shorts back then, this was the 80s, and my shorts were short. Like they were those, if you remember, like back in the 80s, like the red shorts or blue shorts or yellow shorts with like the white outlines, they were shorts, right? And even as a kid, that's what we wore. And so I had a pair, I think, of those red shorts on, and they had the white line. And I sat down, I don't know where I was sitting, on the couch probably, or a chair, and my just my thigh, like when you sit down, your thigh like enlarges, like that's what it does. It sits and it spreads. And I was a skinny kid. I was a very skinny kid. And I kept looking at my thigh and I was telling my mom how fat my thigh was. And so I've always had like I don't want to get too far into it because some people may have issues and I don't want to get into all that. I've never had super issues as far as um, any kind of eating things or anything like that. But I have always had an issue with getting used to my body and then it changing. And I have a really hard time with that. And as Andrew said, in the gay community, it's also harder because it is harder to fit in certain ways. And so, before I always felt I was too skinny. And then recently I feel like I'm overweight, even though I'm not. Um, but and I'm feeling less like that now as I get used to myself. But it's like it takes me a while to get that in my brain and that self-talk. And so it's a difficult thing. And I feel for anybody who goes through that, also or in worse ways on a daily basis. Andrew says, I would like to get a uniform of Otto Finn. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Um, oh, my comments keep jumping. Susan says, now I usually wear black leggings, sometimes jeans with a top or a sweater. Nice. It's an easy outfit, right? Comfy. It's good. Um, Andrew says, your kids would love you to wear those scarves. I know. Those little fur babies would love. Um, I think it was Barnaby and Gilbert. Was it Barnaby and Gilbert or was it Paolo and Babette? I think it was Barnaby. Barnaby used to do it. I have a fur scarf that I got from the French boutique that I worked for, and it was a fun one. It's multicolored, and I still have it. And they would push their way into the closets and find that scarf and pull it out specifically. Out of all of my scarves, out of all of the things in that closet, they loved that scarf. And I think it was mostly Barnaby that did that. But yeah, yeah. Barnaby used to break in the closet and steal the scarf, says Andrew. Yeah, yeah. Um, Marion says, except for rabbit fur. Rabbit fur, that's what this scarf was. And I don't know what except maybe because of food. You're saying that, yeah, because you can eat rabbits. Um, but yeah, I think this is a rabbit fur scarf that I have, and it's dyed, and I liked it. I got it. Um, and yeah, so I still have it. It's still very warm. It's very nice. Um, I feel a little guilty about it, but um, I also don't want to just throw it out. Suzanne says, my stepsister threw her mink coat on our bed, even though I told her not to. Our first cat bear clawed it all up. Oh, that was an expensive, a little bit of a disaster there, I bet. Andrew says, I didn't know Aunt William was a chubby chaser, LOL. Neither did I. Neither did I. That's Andrew always says that. It's funny. Um, Susan says, at the movie yesterday, they showed 80s commercials. OMG, the fashions of the early 80s were hideous. I look at some of that stuff and I'm like, some of it's like throwbacks because that's like my childhood. And I'm like, I remember wearing some of that as kids and seeing people around. And some of it I don't think is so awful as much as I used to think. Like I used to not have a good opinion of the 80s, but that I've realized since, because I used to be like, I hate 80s clothes, I hate 80s music. But then I realized I listen to a lot of 80s music. And I don't mind some of the 80s clothes. I feel like some of it has come back and can look good. Maybe updated a little bit. Maybe update them a little bit. And this is prairie skirts and blouses. That, I don't know about that. Shoulder pads made people look like linebackers and mile high permed hair. Yeah, that was I think about guys' clothing, which is usually mainly a little bit tighter and a little bit shorter, and I'm like, that's not so bad. But some of the and I guess guys did have shoulder pads too. That was a thing. Um, but that it's funny. But it is so iconic, right? I feel like there is definitely like the 80s style is so 80s. Like, I don't know that there's been another decade since where you can really pinpoint things so, like it is hardcore 80s. Like and maybe that's because I was older, but like 90s, 2000s, 2010s, like I feel like there's not, I mean there was a style and there was a something, but I feel like the 80s feels like one of the last decades where you know exactly what time period a lot of those clothes were from, right? Like I feel like the 90s, early 2000s kind of blend together, and some of the other decades blend together, but the 80s is the 80s. And it's kind of 60s, 70s, 80s. Those had a certain something to them. Um, Norma says big shoulder pads. Um, Anna says, I have a couple favorite blazers that have shoulder pads, right? Boxy computers like the first Apple and Commodore. Yes, there's definitely that style of computer with that color, that particular color of like not gray, but not yellow, like a beigey color for all the computers. Except the IBMs. They had a nice kind of grayish color to them, which I actually preferred. Michelle says, I always took out the shoulder pads. That's what a lot of people did after. They still like the clothes from the 80s. They take out the shoulder pads and have a tailor redo the shoulders. You could do that. We had a few people um, at our tailor in New York that would do that. They'd come in with their older clothes and the shoulder pads, and he would take them out and he would retailor the shoulders and arms and make them more modern for people. Marianne says, yes, the rabbits for food. Yeah. Um, Andrew says you listen to a lot of 80s music. I know I do, and I didn't know that I did. Our friend Allison, she used to talk about, she used to love the 80s music, and she would be in the store, she'd do teaching with us and help us out with a lot of stuff. And she always talked about the 80s. I'm like, I hate the 80s. Let's listen to something else. And I don't know why, because I actually don't. I was like, it was after that I started realizing, I'm like, oh, this is 80s. I like this. This is 80s. I like this. Yeah. And I haven't seen Alice in a long time now, but if it were the same, that we'd be grooving to 80s together. Um, Anna says this combo makes me think about the fashions of Dallas and Dynasty. Those are ones Andrew used to watch. He talks about that. Andrew says, "Oh, I can tell 90s clothes. I guess 90s maybe." And maybe it's just because that's when we grew up and that's what we remember the most. And I think I didn't stay up with the fashions as much through the 2000s. So maybe that's why those decades feel more iconic, and more set. I guess somebody who grew up maybe in the 2000s, 2010s, they'd think the same thing about their decades, maybe. I don't know. Susan says maybe the 40s, right? I think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a thing. Vicky says members only jackets and Sperry topsiders. I don't know what Sperry topsiders are, but I know the members only jackets. That was a big thing. Hey, Vicky, by the way. Um, Now the breakdancer segment was awesome. I don't know what that's about, Susan. Breakdancer segment. Izod and Sperry topsiders. Penny loafers, says Anna, right? Izod was big. I don't know what Sperry topsiders. I don't know why I don't know what those are. Um, be sure to pop the collar, and right. I like a good collar pop. I can't. I have to admit. I have to admit, there was. I remember when they used to wear the multiple polos, and they'd pop the multiple colors. Um, I forget what show it was, but they did a spoof where somebody had like 30 different shirts on with 30 different colors popped out. Pretty funny. Um, oh goodness, I remember pop colors, says Susan, right? Preppy, that preppy look. Anne says, hello, Anne. I was at the shoe store today. I tried on some Andrew shoes, gold tennis shoes, but they didn't fit. Oh boy. Andrew says they have all these shows on now set in the 90s, and it's pretty funny. That's true. They do have a lot of them now. Andrew says breakdancer clothes from the 80s, windbreakers and MC Hammer pants. Oh, I wanted MC Hammer pants so bad. Who didn't want those back then, right? Who didn't? But um, we had something like that, but we had like the very generic version of MC Hammer pants. My brother and I think, had pretty much just baggier baggier pants. But MC Hammer pants. That's so funny. Michelle says I wore Reeboks and Vans. We had the big thing when I was growing up, my cousins had them and every British Knights, British Knights tennis shoes. That was a big thing. I don't know if they were as big around everywhere, if that was just a general thing, but um for us around here, like having British Knights tennis shoes was a big deal. And my cousins got them. And I think at some point, maybe I had a pair, but I think it was once it was kind of not cool anymore. Um, but my mom wore Reeboks a lot. Um, Andrew said that thing with the polos was too hot. So it says, I remember my mother telling me about the 30s fashions with longer dress lengths. 40 skirts were shorter because of war restrictions. That's interesting. So it says parachute pants. Kind of, right? Andrew says, I really like Japanese street fashion. Um, Zubaz says, and I have no idea what that is. Andrew says, I even like the drop crotches, even though it looks like a saggy diaper. Right. Anna says, remember when everyone wore matching tracksuits? Yeah, tracksuits were a big thing, right? That's funny. That's funny. We had these silk jackets. I think we had silk jackets and they had silk pants, but I don't know that we ever got the silk pants. But it was this very um smooth, like they weren't shiny silk. There was a matte kind of silk, and they were almost like puffy jackets. And like it's so weird because we got them as kids. We got them at I think Value City. So it wasn't until after they went through fashion and they were on like the values. I don't know if you have Value Cities around you, but it's like the markdown department store. And we got these silk jackets, and I was so happy. Mine was, I think, purple. I'm trying to think the colors, black, purple, and there was another color on it, but I can't remember what it was. And I loved that silk jacket so much. But then, like, you couldn't wear it out in the rain because it was silk and it would get stained by raindrops. Hey, my mom's here. Hello, mom. Remember that silk? That's those silk. I think my brother Adam. I think he had. I think his was yellow and blue, and mine was purple and black and something else. Um, but I love that silk jacket so much. I felt so popular in that, even though it was like um, past the time. But I didn't know that as a kid. I was just like, I got my silk jacket now. But it was like the tracksuit kind of. It was a zip up, and I think it had pants to match. But I don't know that we got pants. I think we just had the jackets, and I wore that jacket all the time. My mom says leisure suits were popular in my day. Um, let's see here. Um, Susan says, I remember my brother wore a leisure suit to his prom. It's funny. Zubaz, they were big knit pants in loud patterns, think zebra stripes in Pittsburgh Steeler colors. Oh, I the image I see and recognize. I didn't realize that's what they were called. Anne says, I always had these dramatic outfits. I loved the fashion magazines. One was a white flouncy Western skirt with a matching top, conch silver belt, cowboy boots. That's awesome. I like that. So, yeah, I don't know, how do we get into all that? I guess, talking about outgrowing our clothes. I don't know where all that started, but that was fun. That was a reminiscing through time. Um, but yeah, that was fun. It's fun to look back at some of that stuff, right? And who knows what's going to be the fashion now. I see a lot of things on Instagram, and I don't watch TikTok, but once TikTok comes to Instagram, I guess. Um, but everybody's going back to like wide pants again. So wide pants are back in, and that was what was so in when I was growing up, is the wide pants and the no more short socks. Ankle socks are out. and long socks. Calf length socks are in. Um, and no, no skinny jeans anymore. Everybody wants the wide legs. And so it's very interesting because the clothes that people are starting to wear now, that kids are wearing, that I'm seeing, like the get ready with me's, um, of the baggier clothes, they're more like the clothes that I wore, I feel like, in the 90s, where things were like, um, they were the boot cut legs or the wide leg pants and that kind of stuff that, it all comes around. Anna says it all comes around again, right? Yep. Michael says bell bottom hip huggers and platform shoes was my senior year. That's funny. I feel like that's one thing that, like, I feel like true bell bottoms have never come back. And I'm so surprised by that. Like, we've done like wide leg and very wide leg, but true, like the hip hugger bell bottoms, I feel like never have come back properly. And I feel like that's something that should. I don't know. Um, I've always thought that those should come back, and I don't know why they have not. Maybe because it's so iconic of a time. Maybe it's just too hard to bring back something that iconic. Um, I don't know. But yeah. Sue says they aren't very practical. No, they're not practical, but Norma says bell bottoms were my high school clothes too. Andrew says you haven't seen Coachella. Is that Coachella clothes? Because they are almost impossible to wear. The really low hip huggers with elephant bell bottoms. Sandra says, I hate wide legs. I will have to be Oh, I'll have to be out of style, LOL. I honestly, I've been, I got into skinny jeans and mine are still kind of skinny jeans that I wear now. And I got into them because um, I liked, I liked the look for a while, but I'm definitely in a phase right now where I want more wider leg pants. Probably more kind of boot cut, although wide leg would be fine too. But, um, I have to get the proportions of all that right nowadays. Like, it's so hard sometimes, I think, to get the proportions right when your body is changing. So I feel like that's a big thing. But yeah, I think I like the next I was telling Andrew I need to get some new jeans because all my jeans are like they have the torn knees and the ripped jean look, and I'm like, and they're skinny jeans and they're torn up like that. And so I'm kind of tired of that look. And it's really kind of dated now and it's kind of bothering me. So I want to get new jeans. And I think the next things that I get are gonna have to be wider and a little bit more comfy. Because getting into skinny jeans every day just is not comfy anymore. I want big sweaters now again. Like I want more into the loose clothing. I want big sweaters again, getting into fall and comfy stuff and cardigans and big jeans. Um, let's see here. Oops, I jumped more than I thought. Norma says we embroidered all over them, and Andrew says they got the hip hugger bell bottoms and Stevie Nicks tops in boho. That's nice. I like that though. But they're probably very hard to wear. Yeah. Anne says, Norma, but I would take the embroidery, right? Andrew says, I don't like to feel my areas squeezed. Norma says, and me too. We almost wore them so long they dragged on the ground. My jeans in New York often did. I wore them long enough that they often did. The back of the jean would often get kind of ripped up from my shoes. I also wore shoes with bigger heels, like wooden heels, and they were like Italian made shoes, and so they had like wooden heels and they get caught up. And but I liked my jeans long, and sometimes I would get them hemmed, but sometimes I would just let them go. um, Andrew says, I used to wear skinny jeans and pointy shoes, and now I wouldn't. Wait, and I would never buy them now. Let's see. Need to charge your phone switching to TV, says Marianne. Alrighty. My mom says, yeah, we had zippers that were about an inch long and tight to the knee, then huge bells. Yeah, that might be too low for me nowadays. But I think, I don't know, skinny down to the knee and then wide, that might be kind of cool, but probably not for me nowadays. Um, Susan says, I was in grade school, Norma, when they were popular. Those wide legs used to get caught in my bike, says Susan. Norma says, I can't imagine trying to ride a bike in bell bottoms, right? Andrew says, I basically want to wear muumuus and caftans. Yeah. Get the Mrs. Roper clothing going, right? And that's yeah. Although I feel like part of me part of me feels like I need to have some constraints so that there is a gauge to if I'm gaining too much weight, right? Because I want to, I'm fine where I am. I want to like tone up a little more where I am. That would be nice, but I don't want to like be able to just wear like a muumuu all the time and just be, I don't know that that would be good, good for me. Um, let's see here. Sarong, says Anna, right? You put a you put a rubber band around your ankle. Otherwise, you get stuck in the chain. Oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, why put a rubber band around your ankle now? Um, Sue says, yep, the Mrs. Roper style. Andrew says, back when I rode a bike. Andrew says, even now that I remember, I rode my 10 speed with rubber bands around the bottoms of my pants. And says, I love Zuri dresses. They are basically beautiful caftans. That's cool. Um, my mom says those used to be called a house dress in my day. The house dress. I've heard of that. I didn't know what a house dress necessarily was. Anne says Anna is partially responsible for my Zuri addiction. LOL. That's funny. See how that works? Andrew says they do say that a fish will grow to the size of the tank. That's what I'm worried about. I don't need to have huge clothes that I can grow into the size of. Oh, because you start to get really comfortable, right? Andrew says kind of like the cottage. I used to think we'd never fill it up. I know, right? Andrew says I will wear a house dress. Anna says, LOL, I don't even have any Zuri dresses. I want one though. That's funny. You're responsible for other people and you don't even have one? How does that work? How does that work? Oh, the time we've had chatting, huh? It's been fun, y'all. Um, Anne says, Anna, but when I was seeking info, you hooked me up with Laura Lee and Monica, and they are dealers. That's funny. They're awesome. I love Laura Lee and Monica. Um, Andrew says, I'm happy. I'm in my happy dumpling phase. See, I can't look at myself and I no, I have to stay. I can't go too far. One way or the other would be not great, I think, right now. I just have to I just want to tone up where I am, do that. Um, Going bigger, going too much skinnier, don't think would be good for my brain health. Um, Anna says, but I want to lose a little weight first. That's like me. I want to lose a little bit, tone up, and be done. That's what just stay there all my life, right? Security heavy, says Andrew. He's fine being security heavy. That's funny. Sue says most people's metabolism changes with age. Yes, it does. I know when mine slowed down. It was like, what was I? Um, I was about 28 and a half, about 28 and a half, and my metabolism dropped. I used to not be able to gain any weight before that, and then I had no problem gaining weight after that. Anne says the beauty of Zuri is those dresses don't care about your weight, as no one should, right? Anna says, right, Anne. Andrew says, William hasn't figured out a costume for tomorrow. No, I have not. And I'm probably not going to wear a costume for tomorrow. I don't know. I don't do the whole thing. I don't know. It's not costume required. So if it's costume required, I'm going to make Andrew do it. He can go by himself. He can do the show. I don't know. I'm still not a costume person. I would, I'm just not, I don't know. I don't really have fun thinking about it. I don't really have fun, dreaming up costumes or what I'm gonna do or to have fun making it. It's not for me. I don't know. I don't know. I would like to be more of that person maybe, but it's just not who I am. I don't know why, but it's just I'm still gonna be beating that sculpture. You're going. You're supposed to be going. And so Susan, my sister and I were just saying that my other sister has said she's going to buy a more generous, buy a more generous cut of jeans in the future. She's still a 6, but she said she is a 53-year-old 6. That's funny. William, just wear your William the Bead Shop owner costume. Wear a cat or Halloween pin. That's pretty much what I'll probably end up doing. Wearing a pin, wearing my normal, allegory gallery shirt. I'm not, I don't know. I'm not, I've I think when I was a kid, like I would dress up like I had a thing with Dracula when I was a kid, so a lot of the times my Halloween costume defaulted to some sort of Dracula or something like that. And I just never really I don't know, I never felt like it was fun to dress up like that. Like I love clothes and I love nice clothes and try like I will go in and try on clothes. I am like some people don't like to try on clothes and stuff. I love going in to try on clothes. I hate, we don't usually have the money for it, so I don't get to do it, and I feel guilty when I buy new clothes. But I love going in and trying on clothes and putting together outfits. But Halloween stuff and dressing up like that, I'm not. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't wear, like I don't know why. I don't. Some people really love like planning their outfit and picking the pieces for it and putting it together, and it's just not me. I'm just not it. As soon as I do the same, William, I wear Halloween earrings and I'm done. Yeah, it's like sometimes I feel like I'm a party pooper or something about it, but um I just I don't know why. I've never gotten that excited. I don't maybe when I was a kid, I don't know, my mom would have to say whether I was as a kid that excited about it, but I don't feel like I ever got super excited about picking out costumes and um doing things like that. I don't know. Andrew says, "Oh, it would be fun to dress you up like a swagger portrait from the Renaissance with a big ass pearl earring." Oh boy. My mom says Luke was a lion today. That's funny. That's cute. I bet he was cute. Andrew says, "You are. What am I? What am I? You are? I don't know what I am." Um, my mom says, "You were a pirate once." Yeah, I was a pirate once. Um, I was a pirate when I was really young because we have that picture of me in in a push stroller that I was a pirate. And I think I was a pirate again after that at one point. I dressed up as like Phantom of the Opera once because I had the mask, the facial mask that I got from the Phantom of the Opera musical. So I dressed up as that once because we had to do it. My friends were doing a party and I had to dress up. And I was Dracula a lot, but that's I don't really remember most of my other outfits. I know we had to dress up every year for school, so I don't know what I kept dressing up as, but Um, oh, I was the that was it. It was a baby devil. Andrew just said, as a baby devil in the push stroller. That's right. It wasn't a pirate. That was the devil. Anne says, I hate trying on clothes. I like clothes I can buy online. As a kid, I loved to go with my sister to the mall to buy school clothes. I like trying on clothes. I will not buy clothes unless I can try them on usually. But we're getting to the point now going to Italy. I want to get some new pants and maybe some sweaters or something. And I will probably just buy them and hope they fit. But because you can sometimes get them cheaper online. I'm trying to save money. Um, let's see here. It says I used to have a costume box, but I gave it away when we got together. Andrew says, a party pooper when it comes to dressing up. He says, you are. That's what I am. I am. I know. I just don't. It does not do anything for me. It does not make me feel like I'm having more fun. It doesn't make me feel like I'm, like I don't know. I don't, I don't know. My mom says Dracula. There are still malls, says Susan. I know, surprisingly. He was the baby devil in the stroller. Yes. We have 3 malls in my town, says Anne. That's a lot. Um, Susan says we have malls, but only one is in a healthy state. We have we have a mall in Greensburg, and it's I think still doing pretty well. The mall in Johnstown has been bought up by a guy who is setting up shops for all the small businesses. So if you're a small business, you can rent space in the mall, and it's like pretty much a mall now of small businesses. There are two, I think I'm trying to think. I think Boscov's is still there, and I forget what other. I think there's one other big store, an anchor store that's still there, but the rest of it is pretty much a lot of small businesses. They've even taken over the food court, which is kind of really cool. We haven't been up there in a while, but it used to be a little more scattered, whereas now he's instituting like you have to be here from these hours to these hours, and it's more kind of like that. So I want to go up and kind of see. And we have a friend who opened up a little restaurant up there in the food court, and I want to go see her too. You could be a leather daddy. No, thank you. No, thank you. Um, Andrew says, if we're getting sweaters, I want to re-up my rough and tumble. Those are a little more expensive than the ones I was thinking. I'm thinking like Old Navy sweaters, which are much cheaper. Like my whole outfit, all my outfits are pretty much Old Navy now because you can get jeans for like $10 when they're on sale. And you go to the clearance section for the sweaters and the cardigans. But I do love rough and tumble. JC Penney's is still there. I wasn't sure because I wasn't even sure if JC Penney's was still around. Um, yeah. So Boscov's and J.C. Penney's. Sue says at least 4 here have gone under and have either repurposed or been torn down. That happens, right? Andrew says, I want to go to the new place in Johnstown. The food looks good. I know. She looks like she's doing a good job with the food, and she does have some stuff that's vegetarian, so that's great. Anne says, we have one outdoor mall that is high-end stores. It's doing well. It's been completely transformed from years ago. It did well then too, though. Nice. Diane said, some years ago, I was going to a Halloween party where the room was only lit by black light. I dressed in black, painted my face, eyelids, arms, neck in lines of neon paint. I sat in the corner in a big chair. The room, the room walls had blacklight posters. Oops. People didn't know I was a person until I said hello. Scared a lot of people. Funny. That's funny. See, that's fun. Um, Andrew said, I'd rather have a sweater I love than a bunch that I don't. Yeah. Although I've liked all this, pretty much I've liked all the sweaters I've gotten there. The other 2 malls are traditional malls, one on each side of town. I don't know if they're healthy. I never go there. Yeah, malls are having a hard time. I think a mall's going to make a comeback though soon. I really feel like malls are going to make a comeback. It's like right time for malls to come back. I feel like they've had a hard time for a long time, and I don't know. I feel it's in the air. I think malls are going to make a comeback soon. So we'll see. Uh, I think when times are harder, malls kind of are a thing because kids want a place to go that you can see things, that you can dream about things, but then you can also not pay for anything. You can go to a mall and just spend the day and it's cheap and you can hang out with your friends at the mall. That's what we used to do, which I don't know. As kids, it was kind of fun, but um, now I can't imagine getting dressed up to go hang out at the mall. But that's me being older or old. And but I think as times get harder, um, I think that's when things like that are more popular. And then there's always, like I said, there's always that aspiration part of it where you want the things in the mall. And so Anne says the stores surrounding the malls are popular, like Old Navy and Kohl's. The malls should absorb those stores, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we've been talking a lot. Let's get into the live part, well, the selling part of the live. Anyway, we're into the live. I charged the mouse. The mouse is charged. Um, I can use the mouse again on the computer. Um, so yeah, that was fun. Um, Here, Old Navy and Kohl's are freestanding or part of a strip mall. Yeah, the only Old Navy near us, a lot of them are freestanding or strip mall places, but the only one I think near us is in the Greensburg Mall. So the Old Navy's actually in the mall. I think Kohl's is too. We don't have any freestanding ones of those, but um, like around us, like I'm trying to think if there's any. Yeah, no, they're all. But we have been when we travel and stuff and see places. A lot of them are freestanding or in strip malls. Not here. Still in the mall. Still got to go to the mall to go to Old Navy. Um, Let me flip this camera. Oh, I didn't do the thing, so I can just do this button. All right. Yeah, I'm on the right side. Good, good, good. Let me turn on the lights. All right. Hopefully you like some of these things I picked out today. These are random things from our stash again tonight. And we'll do 30 or 40 lots tonight. And then I'm getting hungry already. So we'll see what we get into. We'll see what happens. All right. I don't know what we're going to eat. I don't know if Andrew had any plans for that. Because it might be ramen tonight. We've had the ramen packs and we've not used them yet. So it might be a ramen night. Um, let's see here. Let me see. I think I've never used this before. We're going to do HWE lots. Halloween Eve. That's where that came from, even though these aren't particularly Halloween, but Halloween Eve. HWE. If you're new here to purchase from this video, take down the lot number, send it to us in an email at info@allegorygallery.com. You can only claim via email. You cannot claim via the comments. If you have questions, though, you can ask them in the comments. If you send us an email, you are promising to take it if you get it, but everything is first come, first serve. So you may not get it. But please send a new email every time. Don't reply to an old email to send the emails, new ones, fresh emails every time. I think that's all. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's see. Let's give some good deals tonight. This was 18. I'm going to bring it down to 10. See if anybody wants these. These are electroplated lava drops. These are really cool. These golden electroplated lava drops. This strand, these are about 12 and a half. by 16.5 millimeters. Andrew says we're having cinnamon rolls for dinner. So there we go. Cinnamon rolls and cupcakes from our friend. That's like dinner, pretty much. Andrew says, I'd love to get some of those. I'd love to get some new striped tops like the fisherman tops we used to have. Those, yeah, those came from Charles, my old boss. He ordered those from a company in France, I believe. And he gave those to me because he knew I liked them um, when he brought them in as trials. He was going to use those as the uniform for the Coventry Inn. Sugar overload, says Diane. Coventry Inn was his restaurant that he had. And we were shopping for uniforms and we brought those in and I liked them and he gave them to me. But they were not inexpensive. They also are horizontal stripes and I always felt bigger in them than they were. Susan says, I love those Breton stripe tops. I wore them a lot over the summer and early fall. Yeah, that's what they were. That's what, whoops, I turned the comments off accidentally. And I forget what the company was. I found the company for him and he ordered them. But I don't remember. Mine were very knockoffs, says Susan. Yeah, he spent a lot of money on those, actually. I don't remember. And they were all imported and I guess there's probably one around. We can see what the name was on them. I don't know if the company's still around. I think it was a very old company. This is a trilobite pendant. One of these available. HWE2, only $8. We'll put it at $8, about 20.5 millimeters by 45 millimeters. HWE2. There's the lucky penny for sizing. Let's see. Let me look at this. These are nice. We had these at 16. Let's make this $12. HWE3. These are these beautiful amethyst saucers or rondelles, whatever you want to call them. It's a vintage strand. And it's a long strand. I don't know if it's really long. It just feels long because there's extra string here. Let me see what size this is. This is a 15-inch strand. They're really pretty. Amethyst, and they are approximately 5.7 millimeters. 5.7 millimeters. And let's see, HWE2 has just sold. Thank you so much. Take that off of there. I appreciate it. HWE4. Yeah, I did like those Breton tops. I just never felt, Andrew liked them, I think, more than me. I never felt 100% comfortable in them for whatever reason. Let's see here. These were 6. We'll bring these down to 3. Oops. Wait a second. Yeah, 4. HWE4. These are check glass, 2-hole beads, and these are 6-inch, yeah, 6-inch strands, 2 holes, and I have multiples of these available. I don't know how many. Count them later. But $3 a strand, and they are 6 millimeter beads. 6-inch strand, 6 millimeter, 2-hole squares, check glass. I think those are vintage check, pretty sure. Ooh, this is nice. We had 18. I'm gonna do 15 on this. HW5. This is a nice grouping of vintage check. This is actually antique check. Antique check glass. And these are the two color, I guess Givre, right? Most of these anyway. These ones are not quite. But you get, I love these ones. I don't even know if we have any more of these are so cool. Just such a cool bead. I've never seen a bead like this since, and I just love these. And I think the only place we have them are these three of them in this group, in this little kit. And then you get these, you get the larger size of those, you get these little wobbly, they're just such a cool wobbly shape, multiple sizes, and you get those too. Antique check glass, $15 for the whole lot. That's a really big strand of antique check. We just sold 3 as well. Thank you so much. I'll take that away. And let's move these down. Norma says, get a Venice gondolier shirt in Italy. They're striped like that. Yeah, that's what I always think of when I see those. I wonder if they'll be more expensive in Italy or less because of what they are. I have one strand of this silk thread, silk cord left. It's $6. And it's this. It's a stitched edge silk with this beautiful pattern in there. And they are finished all the way. One of these left. $6 for that HWE 6. And next up, let's see, how many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these available. These are $2. HWE 7. These are these glass scarabs. These are cabochons. They have no hole. Glass scarabs, vintage glass. They are $2 each. They're 13.5 by 18 millimeters. And we've got 6 of them available. Little green glass scarabs. HWE 7. We've just sold 6. Thank you so much. I'll put that away. All right. Next up, HWE 8. We had this at $90. We've done it once at $70. I'm going to go down to $60. And then that's the lowest we'll ever be able to go on this. This is a vintage strand of labradorite, large labradorite faceted nuggets. Beautiful color in these. Not a super ton of flash. There's some flash here and there, and it depends how the light hits them. Some of them just flash on the edges, but it's a beautiful stone. And I think they're lovely. Aren't they pretty? I love that kind of green gray look. Little bits of flash here and there. When you don't want it overstated, right? You just want a little bit of flash. Some labradorite like is super flashy, and you know, it's fun and it's cool, but you don't always want that. So these are really pretty. Just little bits of flash. $60 for the strand. That's a really good deal. They're really nice stones. They're higher end stones. They just don't have the flash. Really good color otherwise in the labradorite. Diane says, that check glass, is it more yellow or cream? This is more, I would say, cream. I mean, that's a hard one because the glass is more yellow. The inner part is more cream. So it's kind of a combo. It's a light yellow glass with a cream center. How about that? I don't know if that answers your question well or not, but the glass definitely has a yellow tint, but I'm guessing the center is more white and then it becomes cream with the yellow glass on top of it. Because the glass there is like, that's pretty white. So I think it's yellow glass with a white center, but it turns cream. So I don't know. I don't know if that answers in a way that makes sense for you, but that's what I can say about it. Let's raise this up a little, maybe not that far, just a little bit to fit one more in here. HWE9. Physical therapy time for Michelle. See you later, Michelle. Thanks for hanging out. These are a vintage check. This would go really well. Actually, I didn't mean this, but this would go really well with like this labradorite. It's like another green gray kind of color. And these are, oops, sorry, yeah, 5.5 millimeters. Vintage check was $8 a strand, now 6. 4 strands of that available. All right, let's start putting some of these away. Andrew says someone was asking about chunky labradorite. Yeah, that's why I pulled it. I know somebody was asking. I know this is a more expensive strand, but if you want nice chunky labradorite that you don't, like I said, there's not a huge flash to it, but I don't think that takes away from it because it really, the beauty of the stone stands out on these. So yeah, I thought somebody was asking for it though at one point, so I found this and I grabbed it today. We just sold HWE5. Thank you so much. That one away. Oh, I love this strand so much. We had it at 24. I'll bring it down to 18. Andrew says, if I can finish my sculpture, I might do monsters or birds. For what? Did I miss something? What kind of monsters or birds? Are you talking about paintings or sculptures to help raise money for Italy? Talking about polymer or paintings? HWE 10. This is smoky quartz in these kind of capsules shaped. Really pretty. I love this strand. It's so icy good. Beautiful quality. Smoky quartz. Andrew says, yes, I don't know. That's funny. Look at those. So good. I did start some bird paintings. I should finish that collection, he says. Okay, let's put away one, make some room here. And put away 4. Oh, where are those? There they are. It's those. We'll move 7 down. That's the scarab. Nobody likes the green scarabs. And move 8. Move 9. And we'll move 10. HWE 11. What is going on here? Oh, these fell off. That's what's happening. Okay, let me just take these off the strand. So this strand came apart. Some rondelles. One of those. These are, I believe these are glass. So you get these, and these obviously came off. We tied them together, but those are rondelles. Then you also get these rounds, and then you get one of these as well. And the larger rounds are 12 millimeters. The rondelles are 12 millimeters. And this is 14.5 by 18. And that, all of that is, oops, sorry, paper sticking, $8. Really nice black beads, black glass. And you get the whole set, just a little threw them together kind of set. HWE 11. Andrew says, show the scarab again. Here's the scarab. Cabochon, or glue a bell on. Easy to use. HWE 11 just sold out. Thank you so much. Put that aside. HWE 12. We have these African beads. Andrew says, put them all aside for me. I want the scarabs. Okay. We're taking all the scarabs off the market. He says, I want those. All right. No longer available. All right. We've got these African metal beads. And I think we sell these for $1.50 each normally, but I'm going to do them for $1.50 for the pair. And I've got just the one pair here. $1.50 for the pair. African metal. Love those. Make very cool earrings. Super lightweight. HWE 12. And they are approximately 16 millimeters by 14 millimeters. And this one, I mean, they will vary slightly. 16.3 by 14.7. So one's a little bigger, but they're all different because they're all handmade. HWE 12, $1.50 for the pair, one pair of it. Also great just to put in a bracelet if you're making a bracelet, just to add them in here and there. It's nice to give kind of a visual break in a bracelet too, or a necklace. We have these Cracker Jack charms. The dogs were popular yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So we have these are little golf clubs. You know any golfers? Have friends that do golfing? Do the golfing? I don't know. They golf. Golf clubs. Vintage Cracker Jack charms. 3 of them. $9 for the set of 3. We just sold 12. Thank you so much. Let me put those away. Those are the African beads. And let's see. We had these at 32. I'll bring them down to 28. This is a set of dichroic glass. You get the one larger piece. Beautiful. They are signed. I don't know what the signature is. JC04. I don't know. Andrew, do you know who these are? Who these are from? Guessing they were done in 2004. And so you get the larger piece and 2 smaller ones. So it's pretty much a pendant and earring or set, or 3 different pendants if you wanted to do that, because they're slightly, oh, the dichroic's fun, but they would be asymmetrical because they're different colors for the smaller ones. But I think that's cool. I don't wear earrings, but if I did, I'd probably mostly wear asymmetrical ones. But I think it's also how this glass is, whether they are really, yeah, they're kind of different. But I think it's just that beautiful color. Glass on there. HWE 14. The smaller ones are around 12 by 36.5. And the larger one is around 15 by 40.5. Andrew says, I can't remember. So dichroic glass, handmade glass pendants / charms / earring charms, whatever you want to do with them. $28 now, down from 32. Can't go any lower than that with the costing on that. I think that's a really good deal. Here's a ceramic pendant. And that's HWE 15, $6. Kind of this berry and leaves, right? Like a holly berry and leaves. And this pendant is 31 by 33 millimeters. HWE 15. All right, I'm going to put the labradorite away. That is the lowest price we've ever offered. $60 on that full strand. Going once, going twice. Gonna put it away. That might be one we offer in the online store. That's a nice. I like that. Um, I really actually really like that strand a lot. Okay. And HWE 16. Another set of the vintage Cracker Jack charms. And these are $9. And these are these women. Get that one. Get them in red. They are front and back. And then you get the one in the copper. I don't know what they're carrying, but they look very happy to be carrying that. I think they're so cute. 3 of those, $9. HWE 16. HWE 17. Are these fruits of some sort? And says, I think they're carrying barrels of wine. That's what I wanted to say. I'm like, a barrel of wine would be a lot to be carrying around, but that's what I imagine them. They sampled the merchandise. That's what, in my mind, they're doing. They're kind of dancing because their feet are kind of together too. I feel like they're dancing with their barrels of wine. Um, so to me, that's the story too, but I wasn't going to say anything because it kind of seemed strange to me, right? But now that you said it, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. These are these little fruits. I don't know what kind of fruit. Anybody know what kind of fruit? They're a kind of fruit of some sort. Andrew says they had a whole series of people of the world. HWE 17. These are $8 now. They were 12. Now 8. And they are approximately about 15 millimeters by 18 and a half. We just sold 16. Thank you so much. Diane says, I thought they were carrying kegs of beer. Could be. They could, yeah, they could be maybe Germany, right? With their beer. French with their wine. Who knows? Who knows where they come from? Anne says, I buy all kinds of toys for Daniel Tiger. He's not overly interested. He's playing with a small balled up piece of paper I threw on the floor for him last week. I know, they're like that, those kids, right? You give Tallulah a box that she can tear into, and she is happy. Andrew says Oktoberfest, right? There you go. It's Oktoberfest for them. HWE 18. Okay. This was 75. I'm going to bring it down to 60. One strand available of this beautiful, beautiful Petro Tourmaline. And since I was thinking Italy wine, oh yeah, Italy, that makes sense, right? Beautiful Petro Tourmaline. Stunning faceted rondelles, faceted heishi, whatever you want to call that. I love this. I love the color. The color in this strand is just exceptional. These are not dyed. They are natural. Petro Tourmaline. Those beautiful colors for fall. This is like the fall leaves right now here. These beautiful yellows and browns and still have some green mixed in. One strand available was 75, bringing it down to 60. These are about 4 millimeter beads. And it has a sterling silver chain and lobster claw. So if you do restring it, keep those. We're selling it for the price of the beads, not that it's a full necklace. A lot of times when we sell these as a full necklace, like $120. But this is for you all, and we know you all make stuff, and so this is just the price of the beads. One strand available, HWE 18, $60. Petro Tourmaline. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Petro Tourmaline around. Andrew says, Ida Bell likes her laser mouse. Yes, she does. She goes crazy over that laser mouse. Let's see here. This was 14. Let's bring it down to 12. Oh, we just sold 18. Thank you so much. That Petro Tourmaline sold. Appreciate that. That's a nice, you're going to be happy with that strand. I'm just saying. I'll be very happy with that strand. Next up, we have these metal beads, copper beads. Just nice copper metal beads. And it says, yay, I love that strand. And says Daniel Tiger liked the laser until he found that he couldn't eat the red dot. Yeah, Ida Bell still she cannot figure out why she can't get it because she's quick. She usually gets things. She's like, why can't I get that red dot? Andrew says, I'd love to find real Figamanos carved out of coral, vintage one. Oh boy, I don't even know what these things are, Andrew. These are 9.5 millimeter copper spacers, we'll call them, but it's beads. They're beads. $12. And this is exactly my cats hate the laser. Ours run around like wild for it. For now, anyway. This is just kind of one of those fun lots. We put this at $8. I can't really go lower than that. HWE 20. This is a lot of vintage lucite. And it's all different shapes and sizes. There's like a ring in there. There's a cube, a corner drilled cube. And you get this gigantic heart in there. And they're just fun. You get these fluted kind of melons. And you get the whole bag. It's just $8. HWE 20. Oh, we sold 19. more than once. Thank you so much. I've only got the one of those though. Andrew says, a charm from Italy. It's the hand that is in the shape of a thumb in between the forefinger and middle finger in a fist. Huh. I've seen that. Maybe you can find it. Find it there, right? Okay, let me put some of these away because I'm running out of room. Put these away. $6 a strand for these if anybody wants them. It's supposed to warn away the evil eye. Nice. I am surprised that no one has grabbed this smoky quartz. I thought for sure at $18 that would go. It's so nice. Still available. HWE 10. I know smoky quartz just sometimes doesn't sell. It's one of those things. And the golf clubs still nobody wants the golf. Nobody knows any golfers, I guess. Nobody golfs. They're super cute. Crackerjack charms. I feel like it's weird that we were able to get 3 golf clubs or 3 golf club sets. Like I feel like that it doesn't seem like that would have been a popular crackerjack charm that you'd find. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I just think it's odd that there were 3 of them. All right, I'm going to put away this dichroic glass set. Beautiful glass set. Was 32, now 28 for you all. Really pretty. One set of those, HWE 14. All right, let's move 15 over here. 17 over here. Nobody wants these mystery fruits. And 20 over here. I think those mystery fruits are fun just because they're like mystery fruits. I don't know. Someday I'll figure out what those are. And just as I asked my mentor, but she doesn't know, I kind of feel like she doesn't shop for stuff like that. So it could be right under her nose and she wouldn't see it. But maybe it'll be right under our nose and we will see it. And maybe we'll see lots of them and we'll grab them. If we've got money to spend in Italy for stuff like that. We'll see. HWE 21. Coming up, we've got this beautiful strand of tourmaline chips. It's a very long strand. It is at least 32 inches. I'm going to say it's probably 33, 34, but it's at least, I'm going to say at least 32 inches. Andrew says, of course, I'll be able to find them. That's my special gift, the finder of things, right? Beautiful tourmaline chips, all the colors of tourmaline. Was 36, bringing it down to 28. That's an inexpensive chip strand for you all. Think of the number of bracelets you could make with that. If you make things and sell, that's like 1 bracelet. Beautiful chips, nice quality chips. All different colors, black tourmaline, green watermelon, a little bit of the yellow tourmaline in there, petro, nice stuff. HWE 21, down to $28. Oh, I love these so much. They're so weird. And I love them. Vintage, Czech, or German, I don't know. Probably actually antique. We had them at 12. Let's put them down to 10 for the whole lot. And these are 2-hold. And they've got that kind of it looks like, isn't that like a Werther's Original, don't they have that shape? It's like a green Werther's Original. Don't they have that dot in the middle like that? It looks like they're candy. But just imagine those just with jump rings between them and made into like a bracelet. I think that would be super pretty. I love the color green on these. You get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 beads. And they are approximately 20 millimeters by 13 and a half. And $10 for all of them. I've never seen them before. Don't know if we'll see them again. It's a very interesting shape. $10, HWE 22. Oh, let's see here. Let's put that one away. I'm going to put the mystery fruits away. HWE 17. And I'm going to put this one away, the vintage lucite clear HWE 20. And I'll move 21 over and I'll move up. We just sold 22. Thank you so much. I will put 22 away. It's a fun. I can't pick them up. Every time I pick one up, I drop one. Those are so fun. I love those. All right. HWE 23. These are horn strands. And we had these at 16. I'm going to bring them down to 12. HWE 23. It's approximately 6.5 millimeters by, about 50.5. I think these would make amazing earrings because they're horn, they're super light, but they're nice and long. And I think they make fun earring drops. They're just a really pretty color. It's HWE 23. $12 a strand. I do have a few of this. I don't know how many I have. I have a few of them. Just put an M on here. I'll count them. I'll count them later if we sell through. Oh, we sold one. Thank you so much. At least one is sold. I've got at least one or two more. HWE 24. All right. We had this one at 28. What's the lowest? I'll do 22. HWE 24. Now this one I do only have one. This is another horn strand. Trying to see. This is another horn strand. There are these brown squares. And they were 28, bringing the strand down to 22. And they're 10 millimeter by, by about 4. And you can see they're kind of sandwiched together there. They're really pretty. And this is a vintage strand. One of those available. HWE 24. $22 now only. Vintage strand. Horn. How's everyone doing out there? HWE 25. These were $18 each. Bring them down for you to $14. I've got two of them available. Are these garnets? Garnets in this kind of rough, kind of diamond shape. The shaping is different, but the color and the clarity on these is really nice. Beautiful little garnets. Nice berry color on those. And so there are two strands of those available. Let me show you the other one. This is HWE 25. Anna says, I have those garnets. They are really juicy. Yes, they are. Thank you for saying so. It always helps when other people say that, I think, because when it's just us saying it, it's one thing. But Andrew says, you're going to the store tomorrow. No, I think you missed that part of the live. I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to close the store tomorrow and work on stuff for the show, because I know you wanted to have some you were talking about prints, and maybe some sublimation stuff of some of your artwork and stuff for the show too. Maybe some pins. I don't know. I'm going to get stuff ready for the show tomorrow, so I'm going to skip tomorrow at the store. Plus, it would be hard to close up in time and run over there and get ready set up. So I'm just going to close and work on that stuff. All right. Where am I at here? Let me put this one away. No takers on the tourmaline chips. All right. Those away. Those are nice chips. Yeah, we're grabbing some good stuff though tonight, that's for sure. Some of my favorite things have gone tonight, so that's always nice when I feel like people are liking the things that I like the most too. Andrew says, I want some pumpkin baby heads turned into pins. Okay, we can do that. Yeah, I planned on I'm going to cut some pins and do some sublimation. You mean the sublimation pins, or you mean the pressed, the big pins with the pin machine, the pin maker, button pins? Sublimation's probably, I don't know where the button thing is for the size we normally use. Disappeared again. Andrew says, I know we started on some sublimation squonks, but never did. Yeah, and I don't know what I did with the squonk blanks. So I got to cut more. Andrew says, both. I don't know where the cutter, you found the cutter for me for the pins, and then it's gone again. I don't know what happened to it. I need to order another one. This is this Millefiori glass. It is not Italian. These are not Italian beads, but they are pretty. Andrew says they're on the plastic table in the cottage. Oh, are they? The little cutter? The little round cutter? Because I have the big one here, because we did that for your big pins that we made for your people. And then I found the little one the other day. Andrew says the cutter's down here in the heater. No, that's the big cutter. There are 3 sizes of the cutter. I know where the big one is, and I found the small one the other day, but I can't find the medium one, which is the one we use. These are about, I'm going to say 8 millimeters by about 15. One strand available, only $8 for that strand. HWE 26. No, we found the cutter. It was up here in the office. You found it for me. Put it somewhere. Who knows where? Don't know where. Sue says, "Oh, I have those. Getting ready to make a necklace with them. Nice. I knew we had 2 before, and there's only 1 left. So I know somebody grabbed them at some point. I'm glad you're going to be using them." Okay. Really good price on these. We've got 2 strands of these left. These are the quatrefoil beads in this beautiful tiger eye. They are such a cool shape. These were super expensive when they came out. Um, and I mean, not super, but they were $36. We had them at 36. I think we had to have them even higher at one point when they really first came out. But I'm dropping them down to 24. I've only got 2 strands left, and we need to move them on so somebody can use them. So if you like them, grab them. Quatrefoil. And these are approximately 17 millimeter beads. And I'll show you the other strand too. They're very similar. Obviously, it's tiger eye, right? Andrew says, "I got a book about old Venetian beads. I'm going to study up before we go." Yeah, it should be good. I saw him order that book, and I thought it was going to be like kind of, like one of those indexes of beads. Um, and it's not. It's like more about the process, and they have pictures of the factories, and they honestly don't show many beads in the book, which is actually kind of cool because I thought it was just going to be more of a history of the beads, but it's more of the history of the process of making the beads and how they did it. So it's a pretty cool book. HWE 24 for those quatrefoil tiger eye beads. Okay, let me put the horn away. We've sold 1 of those. I still do have more if anybody's interested in those. I think they're super cool. They're great earrings. If you got some of that horn we had the other day, they'd probably go really well with those. We had the red horn. If y'all remember that. And then I'm going to put these horn beads away. Still no takers on that one, 24. Andrew says, "I got an audiobook about a glassmaker too. It's on Libby, so I got to book it and finish it." Nice. I'm going to move the garnet over, those juicy, juicy garnets. Move this over, 26, those Millefiori, and move this over. I'm actually going to put one of these back away just so I can make some room on the table here. Both need to be out. I'm going to get one or the other if you order them. HWE 28. Oh, this was 18. I'm going to bring it down to 14. This is a lampwork glass bead. Andrew says it's by the author who wrote about the unicorn tapestries. Look at that beautiful bunch of flowers. That's what it reminds me of. The hole goes this way though, so it's like this way. Well, it depends. Use it on a bracelet, it'd go that way. I feel like that should be a pendant or bracelet wear, right? Instead of this way. That way you get those beautiful flowers. Either way it spins, they're right side up. A little bouquet. That's what I see. Isn't it pretty? Nice lamp work. Very inexpensive price. HWE 28. 25 millimeters approximately on that. $14 only. $14. That's a lot of work. HWE 29. I don't think I know the unicorn tapestries either, Andrew. Sorry, the strand just started coming apart. Let me tie it together if I can. There we go. Whew, saved it. Okay. $6. Last one of these left, I think. Are these vintage check? Little speckled beads. I don't know if I want to say what these remind me of. It reminds me of frog eggs, tadpole frog eggs in a pond. I don't know if that sells it or not, but I grew up by a lake, and even the mud puddles around us. We had some mud puddles. It was mostly all clay ground around us. So anytime water formed in a mud puddle, it lasted a long time because it didn't soak into the ground. It just was all clay. And the frogs would lay eggs in there, and you'd see these little clusters of these eggs. And that's kind of what that reminds me of. I kind of like it. It's HWE 29. They're about 9 millimeters by 9 by 12. HWE 29. And my tadpole beads. Andrew says they've got a burnt red, orange reddish background and show the capture of a unicorn. Some say they are an allegory of Christ, but some people say the tapestries are a coded botanical. Interesting. Oh, we just sold 28. That's that lampwork bead. Thank you so much. It's a pretty bead you got there. Pretty bead you got there. Okay, let's move these down. And a good price. Great price. All right. We're selling these by the bead. These are $4 each. And I've got 2, 4, 6 of them available. These are large, I think vintage Czech or vintage German. One of the two. Gorgeous, beautiful pink beads. Faceted. Just an odd shape. I love this shape. Andrew says, if these don't sell, pull them for me. And it's another thing you're not going to get if you don't get them today. Andrew's not letting them go back out to the public again. HWE 30. What did Andrew say? There's a rectangle dish up in the office with an image of it. Anna says, I adore those pink beads. I've got several sizes. Andrew says, those are rare. Those are rare. So $4 each. Seems like a good price. 18 millimeter beads. 18 millimeter. 6 of them available until they're not. Get them tonight, or else they're going back to Andrew's stash permanently. Oh, this is a cutie. Let me check something on this. And so those are in great condition too. Some of mine are a bit nicked. Yeah, these are really, really, they look new. Like they're really nice. I didn't realize how rare they were. All right, let me see something here. Make sure price this right. That's it. Only $20. All right. SWE 30. I'm sorry, HWE. What am I talking about? HWE 31. And since I got some of HWE 30 from AG, they are mint. Yeah, I think these are really nice. There's a few, like I can see a tiny little scratch maybe on some of them, but they are really, otherwise, they're in really good shape. Thank you, Anne, for saying so. HWE 30, carved bone. What's that? Like, what's that say? 28? Or is it a signature? I can't read that. Carved bone, rabbit head, pendant or charm. Really detailed. Beautiful quality. HWE 31, $20 only. I had to check that price because it feels like it's very low. Andrew says, I thought we sold this. Nope. I also checked that too. I think we might have had another similar to it. This one is still available. HWE 31. That's a really nice bunny, says Anna, isn't it? Andrew says, that's too cheap, but if it doesn't sell, I will keep it. He says, we didn't have another. So that's, yep. Oh, Anne says, you did have another. I have it. I thought we did. I thought we had gotten two of them. Because this is, yeah, because I had to look to make sure. I was like, did I miss packing something? Nope, it's available. I had the old number listed here. All right, let me put, Andrew says, like this one. I thought we did. It was slightly different. They weren't exactly the same. I'm going to put these garnets away. Yeah, I'm surprised Andrew didn't grab that one. Because that's a, I mean, he has now, if nobody buys this one. And says, yes, like that one. I thought so. I thought we had two. They were slightly different because they're all hand carved. But I thought I remembered one selling and one not, which I was surprised they both didn't sell. Well, so far, the things Andrew wants tonight, he's pretty much getting because nobody has bought them. What size are 30? I think these were 18. Is that? Yeah, 18 millimeters. 18 by 17 by 17 and a half. And it says, thanks. I was hoping they were smaller. No, they are bigger. They're the bigger ones. HWE 32. This is a good deal on fire polish check strand. Fire polish check glass. We have multiples of these available. $4 a strand. And these are 4mm beads. 4mm beads, $4 a strand. Oh, the bunny just sold. Thank you so much. The bunny head just sold. And says it would be cool to make a necklace out of graduated ones. Yeah, if you had multiple, I know Anna says she has multiple sizes. That would be cool, cool, cool. And kind of luxe, right? Since they're rare beads. All right. These are some of y'all I know like the clear check glass. These are big clear check glass. It's only $6 for all 6 of those. HWE 33. Large faceted round check glass beads. These are 17mm. Yep, 17mm check glass rounds. HWE 33 clear. Get them all for $6. $1 a bead. Andrew says, I'm happy it found a home, but I'm sad for me. I know, I almost kind of wanted to keep it myself too. I almost didn't show it tonight because I was like, this might be mine. There have been a few things like that tonight, and most of them have sold. So I said, people are liking the things that I like most about tonight's show. This was 8. I'll make it 6 tonight. HWE 34. Andrew says, I will find another. HWE 34 are these check glass rounds, faceted rounds. These are a smaller size. These are about 13.5mm. They're the red with the kind of almost green over top. Let's see if I can show you. See, like that. Love these. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beads for $6. I'm going to move those over because I know they're in the path of the comments there. I'm going to take away the quatrefoils. Anna says, I have a friend whose daughter is nicknamed Bunny. That's cute. Anna says, I called Daniel Tiger Bunny, not when he's being naughty, though. That's funny. Andrew says, would people rather I make beads or paintings? Beads or paintings from Andrew? What are you all interested in? I don't think you haven't made beads in a while. I vote beads, but I know you started paintings, but I vote beads. Andrew says Paolo was a bunny cat. Yes, he was. He was a bunny cat. Andrew says I can also do enamel. I love the I love the enamel, but you haven't done beads in a long time. Anna says make what feels right, the flow of art. Diane's asking glass, clay, or what type of beads? I'm guessing he means polymer beads, but I don't know. Homer says, I vote beads too. I don't have any Andrew beads. How can you not have Andrew beads? What? How have you been around us that long and don't have any Andrew beads? This is more of the antique check. We'll do this at $8 for the lot. Andrew says probably polymer. These are super cool. Antique check. I love this shape. It's also got like almost like a leafy design in there. I don't quite know what the design is. It looks leafy to me. Veiny like leaves. And these are approximately 12 by 24 and a half. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 beads for $8. I think that's a really good deal. There's an antique check, HWE 35. I hoard my Andrew beads, says Anna. Says neat design, aren't they? It's a cool shape. The cinnamon rolls tonight are better, I think. Oh, you've already made them and are eating them? What? Would those go with the other yellow cream? Let me look again. They are a little bit darker, but I think they would go well together. So here's the other lot. And here are those. They're very similar. I think just because they have more yellow, it seems like the yellow is a little bit darker, I'd say. And you can kind of see, but I think they go really well together. Honestly. Yeah. See, those are 5. Let's see here. Anna says, I see you are drawing on your hands again too. Yes, I am. I can't, it's like I can't make it's like for some reason, like making the cap is too hard for me. I don't know why. Andrew says, my issue is that the art flow goes everywhere. Yes, it does. Andrew says, don't worry about the cinnamon rolls tonight. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, it looks like we've already sold 35. Thank you so much. 35 is sold. I need to look up at my screen here. Did I sell anything else I don't know about? No. Anna says, I hear you, Andrew. Your flow is great. You can tell you are feeling it naturally. Okay. HWE 36. Oh, this is really pretty. We had it at 18. I'll take it down a little bit more. Take it down to 16. And it says Daniel Tiger was hounding me for a graham cracker with peanut butter, but he hasn't paid any attention to the cheesy lasagna that has been in process all night. Weirdo. Ooh, cheesy lasagna sounds so good. Sounds so good. Look how pretty this is. Beautiful glass pendant. I love how this is see-through in some places, but like almost not at all when you turn it other ways. So strange. Was 18, which is super, I think, super cheap, down to 16 tonight. Andrew said, that's good. You think so because I have kind of been in a slump. But someone said that my half ass is bigger than most people's whole ass. And this pendant is 27.6, so 27 and a half by 54. HWE 36. And let me put some of these away. I'm gonna put this one away. Nobody grabbed that my little tadpole babies. Nobody grabbed those. Surprise, surprise, huh? Nobody wants a tadpole baby. And Looks like Andrew's getting all of these. Nobody bought any of those tonight. So those are going to get set aside for Andrew. What else was I supposed to set aside for you, Andrew? I feel like I didn't. These get set aside for you. The bunny got set. No, the bunny got claimed. Wasn't there something else you wanted tonight, Andrew? You said to hold it if nobody grabs it. I don't remember now. See, that's how things don't get set aside for poor Andrew. The scarabs. Oh, that's right. What did I do with those? What did I do with the scarabs? Did I put them? Maybe I put them in here. Yeah, I did, and I shouldn't have because no one bought any of them. I don't need the number on those. Okay. There they are. Put them on the printer now. Okay, they're going on the printer right now. There they are. And this is good memory, Anne. Yeah, thanks, Anne. Okay, I'm gonna put these away too. Nobody wants these fire polished babies for $4 a strand. All right, they're normally like $6 a strand. Okay, let's see. Let's move these over. Nobody wants the big check today, huh? It's all right. Okay, HWE 37 coming up. Let me see this. Well, that one. That's not. Let's do these. We offered these once before, but I want to make sure everyone got to see them. They're really cool. These are rough rubies. HWE 37. $40 a strand. Normally offering them at $28. Rough rubies. Super cool. Nice big strands of these too, and nice big ruby chunks. This is one of the strands. I have, I think, 3 strands. I have 3 strands of these. HWE 37. And even with the knots in here, I feel like these are 16-inch strands. Yeah, 16-inch strands. Beautiful rubies, rough. They do vary, but this strand happens to be about 11 millimeter on the beads. Anna says, oh, I have some of these from back in the D-Stash group. Love the color and texture. And says, I have 37. They are nice. Aren't they? Thank you. Thank you both for saying so. Let's see here. We just sold one of those. Thank you so much. Still have 2 strands available. I'll show you. These ones are a little bit smaller. So you can see they're like a little bit smaller. And then if you want to pick, you can let me know which ones you like. Person who grabbed these. These are a little bit bigger. So it just depends which one you like the best. These are more in the rough than these. Like these look like they were in the rough, and then you see these and they're more in the rough. So these are a little bit more pinker. These are probably the pinkiest, but larger, medium, or small size. And again, if more people if people, I'll leave this one up since that's the one that I showed at first. That's the medium size. I'll let you pick if you want. If you pick the same one, then I will, you may not get the one you pick exactly, but you'll get one of them. That's how we usually do it. That way we don't have to go back and forth, back and forth. And this is not sure I would recognize those as rubies. Oh, I saw them. If I saw them on the ground, love them though. I know, right? You just saw them out in the world. Would you know they were rubies? Would you know you should pick them up? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so the smaller strand has been taken. Smaller strand has been taken. If you would like this one or the larger strand, you can request those. These are $2 each, and I have multiples of these. These are carved bone. And it says it's like magic finding stones, right? These are carved bone, and they're shaped like that. And they're $2 each. I have multiples. I don't know how many I have in here. It's pretty much a strand we've taken apart. And so they're kind of fun. You can put something in between if you wanted to. They kind of fit together like that. Give that kind of a look. So $2 each. HWE 38. And then this is just a very odd color choice, which I love odd color choices. But these are these check glass leaves, vintage check glass leaves. These are very vintage colors, right? These kind of pastels and like a mint and a purple. And one strand available, HWE 39, $6. And these little leaves are approximately 12 millimeters by 7.5. Ooh, now I am smelling those cinnamon rolls. And this is their perfect fairy leaf colors, right? Truth. That's the truth. Let's see. What do I have for HWE 40 for the end of tonight? What do I have? I have a few things. What should I pick? What should I pick? How about this? This is a nice bright color. Market it. Market it $4. And it's these fire polished check, bright green, very gemmy, almost metallic, pretty much metallic. 3 millimeter fire polish check. One strand available, $4. I just love that color. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. HWE 40. And that, my friends, is the show for tonight. Thank you all for hanging out with me. This was fun. I had fun chatting today. Got off on a lot of different clothing stories and various clothing of the decades. It was a lot of fun. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to work on the spreadsheet here tonight and send out invoices. And again, we're probably not going to have a live tomorrow. We might do an afternoon one, but I think I'm going to be pretty busy getting things ready for the show. So probably not going to have a live tomorrow. So we'll miss you all. I probably will add more things to the D-Stash Saturday and Sunday from the store. So the D-Stash I started last Sunday. Um, I thought I was going to get to add more things to it throughout this week, but I didn't. So I'm going to continue that event um, through this weekend. So Saturday and Sunday from the store, I'm going to grab some stuff and bring it up and start adding some more things to the D-Stash group. So if you're not in the D-Stash group, search Andrew Thornton Project D-Stash on Facebook and join us there. Um, don't feel offended if we don't let you in. If you're brand new to us, we generally guard that group. It is a private group, so you have to have some kind of relationship with us already. Even if it's kind of a new relationship, that's generally okay, but we do have to kind of know you and have worked with you a little bit before we let you into that group. But if you haven't joined it and you are at that status, please think about joining it. It's a nice way to find things. Sometimes it's things we show in the live, we show there as well. Sometimes it's different things. You never know what's going to pop up in the D-Stash group and what you may have missed in the lives or what you didn't see, what's better shown in photos sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to be adding probably some of our check glass buttons and check glass that we brought back. And who knows what else I'll add in there. But I'm going to work on that this weekend. So if you claimed anything from last Sunday, I have not invoiced for that yet, but I will invoice at the end of this weekend, probably maybe on Monday for that. So you'll have a little bit of time to grab some stuff there. It seems like people are seeing things in that group much later than they used to. So we're leaving it up a little bit longer for people to be able to actually find it because it never fails that as soon as I say I'm invoicing and I've invoiced for it, then people are like, oh, is it too late? Because they're just seeing it because Facebook just showed it to them. So I wanted to give it some time for Facebook to see it. So I'm going to add to that event instead of just starting a new one. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Um, I hope you have a great weekend. We're gonna have fun, I hope, at this show. We'll see. I don't know. It's a new show for us, so hopefully tomorrow night is fun. And we'll try and get pictures if we can. We'll see what's going on. And other than that, hope you have a great weekend. Maybe I'll see you in the D-Stash group. Um, Anderson, it's also because we don't use that group as much. Yeah, it's not used as often as we used to. We used to do it every week. When we switched to these lives, we kind of these kind of took over for that as far as the time we had to do it. But every once in a while, we try and throw things out there. So anyway, have a great weekend and have a great Halloween. Be safe out there. If you're going out trick or treating or going out with friends, please be safe. And we hope to see you back here again on Monday. All right. Have a great one, everyone. Happy Halloween. Bye now.